All right. So, hey, Steve, what do we got going on today?
Today, great show. We got Rick Sebak with us. He's a producer at WQED in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And he's made a whole series of films. Currently, he's working on what he calls the Emmy series, documentary of Pittsburgh and the surrounding area.
Okay, and I understand he also did a documentary on flea markets.
Flea markets, yeah. It's called a flea market documentary.
I can't wait to talk to him about that. I'm going to pick his brain on that. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, well, Rick has been known to create what's called the scrapbook genre of filmmaking.
Okay.
And he has his own genre.
I know. Well, he just sounds like a really interesting guy.
I can't wait to meet him.
I'm Steve Kreider.
I'm Steve Swanson. And we are the Flea Market Fanatics.
Well, hey, Steve.
Steve?
Rick.
Steve?
Rick?
So,
Steve?
who do we got here today, Steve? Tell
Well,
us.
it's my great pleasure today, Steve, to introduce Rick Sebak from WQED in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's a documentary filmmaker, and he's been in the business of making films for
too long.
Well, how long?
Well, my first documentary I made in South Carolina, I worked for public television in South Carolina, and I made a documentary about the state dance.
Really?
The shag.
The shag.
Yeah, it's kind of a slow jitterbug that people do along the coasts of Carolinas, and like anyone who goes to school in either Carolina knows how to shag.
Oh, really? I don't know how to shag. You know how to shag?
It's now a loaded question.
Shag now or shag later?
We're talking to Julie. Julie, you're a repurposer.
Yes, yeah.
And what does a repurposer do?
I like looking for weird things that may not catch anybody's eye and then taking it home and transitioning it into something, that someone's like, oh, that works that way.
How did you become interested in becoming a repurposer?
You know what? I grew up coming here, honestly. My mom and I would just come here on Friday. She'd take off. She'd take me out of school. And we just come here for the day, and that kind of just like snowballed into a passion where once I got my own house, I was able to decorate, and then once my house got too full, just kind of made it a hobby to collect things that I still had a passion about and redo it and bring it to other people that may not have that ability to either come here or have that eye, that vision. I like to bring it to them.
So you started in public television outside of Pittsburgh,
Right.
But then you got drawn back. You're originally from Pittsburgh.
I grew up in Bethel Park, and went to school at Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Then I lived for 11 years in Columbia, South Carolina, while working for the public television in South Carolina.
Nice.
And then you came back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I got this job by answering an ad in a trade journal.
Really?
Which no one believes, but it's the truth. Two other guys that I worked with in South Carolina, we'd made a pact.
Yeah.
If anyone worked there and got their 10-year pin, the others would kill him. Well, I'd been there for 11 years, and so one of them was working in Denver at that point, and he called and said, "There's an ad in Broadcasting Magazine, you should answer." I said, "Why?" He said, "It's in Pittsburgh."
So you've been back in Pittsburgh for quite a while then.
31 years I've been back.
Wow.
I love coming out here looking for salvage pieces off of homes. I actually have been diving into that endeavor in Youngstown, actually trying to save the houses that I've been demoing, or before they're demoed to the ground. I like to go in and salvage the pieces that I can off of them. So when I come here, I try and find those pieces too, because I do pop-ups with my parents, and we just kind of take those pieces and make them into something else, whether it's something for the wall or a table, a stand, and we just try and save them from Rogers Flea Market.
When you go to flea markets, what are you looking for when you're shopping? Is it?
I don't know. I seldom have anything in mind. I know that I am inexplicably drawn to little statues of people. And like, I don't know why. And I, and there's no rules. Like, I have a little Fiorello LaGuardia. I have a Dwight Eisenhower. I have Colonel Sanders. I mean, I'll pick up anyone, and even as somebody that I don't know. I think I one that's supposed to be like Don Quixote or something like that, carved out of wood. And even what it's made of doesn't matter. I just know when I see them, I want that.
So you have a little statue shrine in your house? Is that where you keep everything? Or?
I have one of those stacked bookcases, with I think they're called lawyers' bookcases. I probably got in the flea market where they had sliding glass fronts and everything. And on the top of that, I have it entirely covered with little statues of people.
Hi, I'm Jess Faulstich, and I'm a flea market fanatic. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagrams. And be sure to share us for all things related to Rogers Flea Market.
Tell us a little bit about the documentary you did on the flea markets.
Right. Well, I know that amongst the crew, it's still remembered as one of our best times. We got to travel we went to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. We went to it's called First Tuesdays Trade Days, I think, in Texas, the oldest flea market in America.
Oh, wow.
We traveled the entire country, using the internet as a guide, trying to find out which markets we might like. There was one in Florida that had a circus attached, and we just thought it would be great to have that shot of elephants walking through the flea market. It was a celebration, as most of my programs are.
Right.
It was a celebration of flea markets, the vendors, and the people who like to frequent flea markets, the fanatics.
Right.
Right. And with your documentaries, you don't get in front of the camera.
No, I usually don't. I mean, occasionally, there are times when, people who watch them too much see where exactly I might appear or something like that. But basically, no, I like to stay just beside the camera. I ask all the questions, I do the narration, I write the stuff. I sort of edit what we call the A roll. Right. And then, I work closely with an editor, Kevin Conrad, who adds the B roll. And actually on that show, Flea Markets, Bob Lebomsky was my cameraman. And I knew Bob was a flea market fanatic too. Oh, really? And so he was always, okay, we need an hour, just let us go. And I know that when we were in Texas for that First Tuesdays, the mayor of that town had his own private plane. He said, you can get an aerial if you'd like, I'll take you up.
Wow. Wow.
And so my cameraman said, yes, we're into that.
Yes.
And I said, okay, I'll go too. And then Bob said, no. Oh, actually, we had two cameramen on that shoot. And Bob said, no, I'm not going. You guys go. I want to go shopping.
Wow. You got the VIP treatment, flyover of the flea market.
Right. It was really great. It was huge.
Yeah.
So
Before drones.
Acres and acres. Yes, before drones, you had to try and find a small plane or a helicopter.
When someone is falling in love with something that we've brought to our pop-up, and just the excitement and that it's affordable for them and they're gonna just treasure it, that's the best part. Just seeing their love for something that you envisioned and you found and brought, somebody else having that same love for it is the best part. And that's what makes it easy to let things go when you love it so much, is it's going to continue to be loved. That's why I love coming to Rogers, because these things here have been around for so long, and obviously someone treasured it, someone loved it, and it's still here. So I just have to save it and take it with me and make it, somebody else's life, or bring it to somebody else and them enjoy it in their life.
I did see some of your work with Mr. Rogers.
Yes, I knew Mr.
documentary.
Rogers.
You knew Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, we both worked on the second floor of WQED. So, You can say we shared the same men's room.
Right.
And you I saw you presented when they dedicated a stamp to Mr. Rogers.
Right. The U.S. Postal Service has a new Mr. Rogers stamp, and that was eye-opening as well because it has nothing to do with us, although we were where Mr. Rogers did all of his programs. The whole idea of stamp collectors and that whole world was suddenly there in our building.
I see.
And, after the event was over, everyone who spoke had to sit at a table because the collectors wanted everyone's signature on the program.
Oh.
Wow.
And I remember I was sitting at a table, they had these really nice pins that were the stamp, like a lapel pin. And I was sitting at a table and there was like a big pile of them. And I thought, I'd really love to just take a handful of those pins.
Put them in your pocket.
But I was sitting next to Mrs. Rogers. And I thought,
All right.
Maybe not take all the pins.
I had mine already, so...
Maybe one more.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I took one extra. I should have taken 10 because they were gone quicker than anything else.
Right.
So, but, it's funny. I find that there's so many tributes to Mr. Rogers right now, it's kind of confusing. There's a PBS documentary, there's a Hollywood documentary, there's a movie coming with Tom Hanks, all that. But, he deserves it.
Right.
And it's such unusual television, and I think, we now think of it as inevitable, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
And I know even when I started at WQED in 1987, I was stunned to go in the studio and realize they shot it always like a show was done in 1954.
Wow.
Even in 19...
Johnny Costa played the opening song, Won't You Be, It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. That's live every show. Yeah. Fred sings it new every time. So it's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
That's something I have to go back and watch.
Yeah, now I want to go back and watch it.
And I interviewed Johnny Costa, and he said he tried to play it differently every time, except for that opening little, which I said is, I think, part of the hypnotic charm.
Right.
You hear that music, you got to watch.
Right, you're focused in. And television has certainly changed over the years with technology, and without Mr. Rogers really forging the way early on, your career probably wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't at all. But it's also just a weird coincidence. My first job in South Carolina working in television, I got the job through Josie Carey, who was Mr. Rogers' partner, producer at WQED in 1954. They did a show called Children's Corner for about 6 or 7 years. And she was on camera, Fred was not. He was just the puppets.
He was the puppet.
Wow.
And so...
Daniel the Tiger.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, Daniel Tiger is born the first day WQED is on the air, which is April 1st, 1954.
That's amazing.
So
That's awesome.
That's good stuff.
it was just a silly little puppet that's had an incredible life.
They sometimes do. And little figurines.
Okay.
So just look at the camera, don't look at me. Look at the right. Where do you want to look at? Right here?
Right there, right at the
Right at
lens.
this square.
Right.
Ready and action.
I'm Randy Prino. I'm the owner of Lock 24, and yes, I am a flea market fanatic.
All right,
Just keep your eyes here at the end.
Don't look at me.
Oh.
Yeah, just keep looking forward.
That
I'm
was
going to
good,
get out of the
that
way
point
because I know if
Okay.
you've been looking and you want to keep looking at me, that's all right.
You going to do it again?
And action.
I'm Randy Prino, the owner of Lock 24, and I am a flea market fanatic. I'm Randy Prino, the owner of Lock 24, and yes, I'm an owner of... I'm telling you, this is not going to work. I'm Randy Prino, I'm owner of Lock 24, and I am a flea market fanatic.
You've been here coming here for 15 years, so obviously you know about the food vendors here. Is there any particular food that you like to eat when you come to Rogers? Is there any I just have to have that?
Well, I mean, yeah, the Mary's Donuts.
Mary's
I
Donuts,
would
hands
say
down.
that's it. Yeah, that's the only must-have. I do know that there's like a little candy vendor across the aisle from her who has like bagged candies
Right,
that I
bagged
sometimes
candies.
take advantage of him as well. But mostly I spend my time on the other side of the bridges over where the antique vendors or, individual vendors set up. I I mean, on the other side of the bridges is the old stuff, and I love that.
And you might
Right.
capture might get a miniature statue over there.
I have probably bought miniature statues on the other side of the creek.
So take me through your process. How do you start the whole thing?
Okay, well, I have something here I'm actually interested in. There are these, I'm thinking they might have been on an old barrel at one time. They're real heavy, but the older ones did work out to be really heavy. Like 1800 maybe, I don't know. But I love making wreaths out of these.
Oh.
You know, just hanging on a real cool shabby piece of wood, a little bit of flowers. I mean, it's perfect. I just think it's so cute. And nifty, a little dirty, but hey, you get that here.
What else are we looking at?
Again, here's a frame. I would love to see how much that is. And then I do love hosting parties too. So these are really cute. They have little bumblebees on
Would you use
them.
these for like drinks and food or?
Yeah, even if I got, if you stack some vintage boxes and like tiered these all over, put some greenery around it. I mean, I need the people in this booth to come by.
And then it looks like there's also a frame. Would you use that for anything?
Yes, I love painting them, keeping them as natural as possible, but painting them and burning them.
Burning.
Yes, that's our secret. Yes.
Don't tell
I
anyone.
know, I'm sorry, we burn
It's on the
things.
down low.
Yeah. But I do this with my parents, so I am supervised while doing so.
Steve and Rick, you know what I think we should do? We should go get some donuts.
I would love that.
So you want to go to Mary's?
We'll go to Mary's.
Of course I do.
Hey, maybe we'll get a donut from Mary's, and then maybe we'll grab a bag of candy. If the candy vendor's across the way. But there's some other great food vendors here that we'd like you to stop and take a look at. If
Oh
you
my!
can.
I love any food vendor.
Well, and you know you can't beat the food vendors here at Rogers. So
No.
I mean,
This is like the state fair here. Come
I
on,
know,
you want to
you
try
can't-
everything.
It's a combination of state fair, carnival, auctions, chickens.
people watching everything. You got everything. You got it all right here at Rogers. So
Well, very good.
well, why don't you guys come with me and we'll go off that way.
All right, great.
All right.
What'd you pay for that?
I paid $5 for these.
See, this is why I don't throw nothing away. I'm just gonna have to.
Don't.
Everything in my house, I'm just gonna gather up, just bring out to flea market.
You should do that because one person's treasure in trash, it's vice versa. I went to an estate, and this guy literally went to garage sales and picked all his life, and the family's like, I don't know what any of this stuff is, and I'm like, okay, that's even better because if you don't know what it is and I like it, then that's going to be a good process. They don't see the love in it that I do. And he literally kept everything and had all kinds of stuff. So yeah, you should just continue to keep your junk so I can come through it one day.
My name is Mike Seabolt. I'm with Metal Master, and I'm a flea market fanatic.
We just want. Oh, I love this. You want to check it out?
Yeah, I do. If you don't mind.
I tell mine at all. Hey guys, do you mind if we take a little video of you guys? Yeah, this one.
I love pickles, especially like as young as they can be. Like I remember when I used to go to New York, they would sometimes have them in like 1-day pickles, 3-day pickles, 5-day pickles.
We also do pickled sausage.
Pickled sausage.
Yep. Venison and bison.
Yeah? And you actually like put it in pickling?
Yeah.
Juices? What do you call it? Pickling brine.
Would you like to try?
Yeah. Thank you.
Let me get a little shot.
Hey,
of that.
yeah. Well, no, we have to like toast them.
Toast to you.
Toast to you. Pickled sausage.
If you want to try any of the pickles, you can
Yeah.
sample.
Red hot garlic dill sounds great.
Yeah. If you like really hot, the extra hot's really good too.
And for you, which one?
What do you think? What do you think I should
You
try?
like horseradish?
I do on occasion, but I'll try. What do you got?
I like.
They look
Which
good.
one you throw?
Because they look young.
Yeah, they look really.
Same time.
Cheers to you. It's got a little kick to it right there. One more.
You want the extra hot?
Can I do that extra hot? I'm gonna do it.
For you guys, any samples?
This is gonna Do I need something to chase this down
What
with?
do you like, spicy?
More pickles.
Okay.
Okay,
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I like hot stuff.
What do you like, spicy or not
They're
spicy?
scorpion peppers.
That's good.
It's sold out. This one, your
Yeah, I
one's
want it
sold
to have a
out.
lot of flavor.
Yeah.
I say, you know, like little kids don't like things with strong flavors, but adults like
it.
things that have big flavor.
Yeah.
Now I'm eating your horseradish one.
Oh, it's good.
Excellent. Pack some in. You want to get this? Hold on a second. Take the lid away. Start again. Take it back over here. No. Leave the pickles. Just take the lid away. Now go at it.
Yeah, there we go.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm impressed.
Now we're set.
That's a lot of pickles.
That's that's gonna last us a while. Isn't
You
it?
want separate bags or?
Separate bags.
Separate bags, please.
We haven't moved in together yet.
Not yet. Wow, these donuts are amazing.
This was a great idea, Rick.
Well, it's it's one of those things. It's part of the tradition. You come to Rogers, you're gonna get a donut. You're gonna check out a new stand. You're gonna be surprised.
Get a gyro,
Get a gyro. That'd be
little
great.
figurines.
I'm Julie, and I'm a flea market fanatic.
Thanks for watching.
Check us out at www.fleamarketfanatics.com.
.com. Oh, hey.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
Okay,
All right, what you
What's
got
going on?
there?
you ready?
Yeah, let's see that. What's that?
that's a $1 million bill.
That's $1 million bill.
$1 million bill.
That's $1 million bill.
Where'd you get that from?
I got this out. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Rogers. About 7 or 8 years ago. You know how much I paid for that?
$20.
$2.
Oh.
And I wish it was real.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No
Well,
doubt.
we appreciate you stopping by.
Okay, no problem. Slow down. Don't work too hard.
All
Yes,
right,
sir. We'll
thank you.
try. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah. And thanks for watching Flea Market Fanatics.
We'll see you
At the market.
Hocus pocus pocus. I want to win some money. I just came back from West Virginia down there gambling right down there. And I won $40. Okay, adios.